All right, today we're going to talk about two nutrients that you've definitely heard of, vitamin D and calcium. But what's really interesting is how their importance just skyrockets as we get a little older. So think of this as your friendly guide to why they become so incredibly crucial for staying strong and energized, especially once we hit our mid-30s. So this is really the big question, right? Why 35? You might notice little things changing on the outside, but the real story is what's happening under the surface. It turns out this age is a pretty significant turning point for what our bodies need, and we're going to get into exactly why. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the why behind these changes. Then we're going to talk about calcium and its partner in crime, vitamin D. After that, we'll look at some of the subtle signs that your levels might be low, find some super simple ways to get more, and then wrap it all up by looking at how this protects your health for the long haul. Okay, let's start with what we're calling the gentle shift. And I really want to stress that this isn't about something breaking or going wrong, it's just a totally natural process. Understanding this shift is the first step to really working with your body instead of fighting against it. You know, the key words here are natural and normal. This isn't some kind of problem we need to fix, it's just how our bodies are designed to work. These changes happen to all of us, and just knowing what they are puts you in the driver's seat to support your body in the best way possible. What's really important to get here is how all four of these things are connected. It's not four separate issues. So as our bones naturally lose a bit of density, our body also gets a little less efficient at pulling nutrients from our food. At the exact same time, you've got these subtle hormonal shifts and a slight decrease in muscle mass, which means your bones just with less support. It's that combination that makes our nutrition so critical. And that brings us to our first major player, calcium. You know, most of us hear calcium and we just think bones. But its job is so much bigger than that. It's truly one of your body's most essential resources for keeping you moving and keeping everything in balance. I mean, just look at this list. Calcium is seriously busy. It's not just sitting around in your bones. It's actively helping your muscles contract, keeping your heart beating in a steady rhythm, and letting your nerves fire off messages every single second. It is a true multitasker. This bone bank idea is the perfect way to think about it. See, your body is incredibly smart. If it needs calcium for, say, your heart or your nerves, and it's not getting enough from your diet, it knows exactly where the reserves are. It just makes a quick withdrawal from your bones. So here's the crucial part. As we get older, we start making more and more withdrawals from that bone bank, while at the same time the deposits we're making get smaller and happen less often. Over time, that can leave the bank, your bones, a little depleted. And that's exactly why getting enough calcium consistently becomes non-negotiable. But here's the thing, making deposits into that calcium bank isn't so simple. You can't just show up. You need a key to unlock the vault. And that key, well, that's vitamin D. This is where the partnership between these two really shines. This lays it out perfectly. You could eat all the calcium in the world, but without vitamin D, your body just can't grab onto it and use it effectively. Think of it like this. Calcium is the pile of bricks, but vitamin D is the construction worker who actually builds the wall. And if there's one thing you take away today, let it be this. Low vitamin D automatically means low calcium absorption. It's a package deal. And over time, that can lead to weaker bones, sure, but also lower energy and even affect your mood. They are a team, and you need both of them firing on all cylinders. Okay, so how in the world do you know if your levels might be low? Well, the signs can be really subtle, and honestly, they're super easy to mistake for just being tired or stressed out. This part is all about learning to tune in and listen to your body's quieter signals. Do any of these sound a little too familiar? That general feeling of being tired, feeling a bit down, maybe catching every single cold that comes your way? These are so common that we just brush them off as part of life. But they could actually be your body's way of saying, hey, I could use a little more vitamin D over here. Now, the signs for low calcium can be a bit more specific. Think about muscle cramps, especially in your legs at night. That can happen because calcium is so important for regulating your muscle contractions. Without enough of it, nerves can get a little overexcited. Things like brittle nails or a tingling feeling in your hands are also pretty clear clues. All right, let's switch gears from the problem to the solutions, which are actually pretty gentle and manageable. The great news is you don't have to overhaul your entire life. It's all about small, consistent daily support. And this is such a reassuring thought. You don't need to get your entire day's worth in one single meal. In fact, your body and your bones prefer a steady little drip of these nutrients throughout the day. It just makes it feel so much more achievable, right?
This table breaks it down so nicely. For calcium, you've got your classic dairy options, of course. But look at all these fantastic non-dairy sources. Leafy greens like spinach, tofu, almonds, beans. And for vitamin D, fatty fish like salmon is a powerhouse, but so are egg yolks and lots of fortified foods. There are great options here for literally any kind of diet. And for vitamin D, we cannot forget about the power of the sun. Seriously, just 10 to 15 minutes of daylight on your skin can trigger your body to produce its own vitamin D. So combining a short walk outside with some of those D-rich foods, that's a simple and really powerful strategy. Okay, let's zoom out now and look at the really big picture. Getting enough vitamin D and calcium is obviously crucial, but it's just one part of a bigger ecosystem of habits that protect your health for years and years to come. All of these gentle habits work together with your nutrition. Gentle movement, like walking, actually sends a signal to your bones telling them to stay strong and dense. Good posture protects your spine, and supporting your muscles gives your whole skeleton a strong framework to rely on. Every single one of these small choices adds up in a huge way over time. And that right there is really the heart of it all. This isn't just about feeling good today or next week. The small, consistent choices you're making right now are a direct investment in your strength, your stability, and your energy for your 50s, 60s, 70s, and way beyond. It's truly a gift you're giving to your future self. So, as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one question. It doesn't have to be some massive change. Maybe it's just adding a handful of almonds to your snack in the afternoon. Maybe it's taking that 10-minute walk in the daylight. What's just one small, gentle change you can make today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.